Okay, let's begin. So Baruch Hashem, this is really, really exciting. As we all know, Eitan has been pushing for this, and it's not just Pashat Daf Yomi, as Eitan has been telling us. It's a time to not just learn the Gemara, but we even are able to go and hopefully retain it to some extent. And for myself, it's a really great time because Yevama says the beginning of neshama-continuity, and the yeshivas are built on neshama-continuity. That's literally the Gemaras that build us, and it means a lot to just go back and just learn the Pasha Gemara. There's something about just going to the Gemara and getting the Shakvataria, just the back and forth discussion of the Gemara itself without getting anything further. Just want to begin. It's always good whenever we begin a new topic to be familiar with the psukim of the Torah that the masechta is actually explaining. So, as my Rebbe, Rav Ezra Neuberger, so he always gave us the bigger picture in sugyas. He always began with the psukim, and I'm going to do it as well. The pasuk we're doing Yevamos. What is Yevamos? So it's a unfortunate situation in the end of Parashas Ki Seitzei. Let's just do it quickly. These psukim, Ki v'achim yachtov. There's two brothers which are sitting together. Umeis achan mihen. One of them dies. Two brothers are living together. Umeis achan mihen. One of them dies. Uvenein lo. He has no son. Lo sia ishus hameis hachutza. The widow, right? The widow is not able to get married to another man. Liish zor, to any stranger. Just like that. Rather Yevama yavo eleha. So her brother-in-law, meaning the live brother, has to get married to her. Take her as a wife, v'ima, and have the marital relation. And then the pasuk continues, so the simple meaning is, and the firstborn that is from that relationship, yakum al shem achiv hames. So the simple meaning is that son is going to actually stand up and he'll take over the place of the brother who died. He'll be like a remembrance. His name is not going to be erased. His name will continue on. So that's the ideal. It seems like the simple meaning. That's the ideal, right? You do Yibum. If the brother does not want to take his sister-in-law as a wife, so they go to the gate, the elders, referring to the Beis Din, and she says, my brother-in-law will not like to stand up his brother's name, meaning her deceased husband. Lo avayami, he doesn't want to take me as a wife for the Yibum. And they speak to him, and he says, yes, I don't want to take her. So what do? We call this chalitzah, and she's going to do a chalitzah. What's a chalitzah? To remove, to take off. She's going to take off his shoe from his foot, and then she'll spit. She says, this is what's going to happen to the man, that he does not want to build up his brother's house. The last pasuk is v'nikra shmo b'Yisrael, and now the brother who did not do the Yibum, his name will be called Beis Chalutz Hanal, the house of the removal of the shoe. That's the parsha, right? So we have this unfortunate situation where you have a man passed away and they had no children, he and his wife. So now you have basically two different ways to go about it. There's a problem for the woman because she's not able to get married to anyone else, any stranger, until something happened. Either Yibum or Chalitzah. Yibum, that the brother, if there is a brother, will marry this woman, his sister-in-law, or if there's no interest from his part, so then what do we say? We say Chalitzah. She takes off his shoe, and then she will spit. And once that happens, she now is free to marry any man she would like. That's the two options for Yibum. And just because we have 3 minutes, because it's a short Amud, very, very interesting, the understanding of what Yibum is, what exactly you're doing with Yibum and Chalitzah. So the Chinuch is famous for saying, he's probably the one that brought this idea out the most, until others later came and explained it a little bit more. But he says that the brother who is alive, he's basically taking the Hashem is very is a Bal Chesed, right? Hashem is very, very much Bal Chesed, and there's a Chesed that Hashem provided for this woman, really for the man who died, that he has no remembrance, he has no one to continue his name in this world. So what did Hashem give? Hashem gave us this mitzvah that the brother of that man is able to basically take over that role. He could be that brother who died and therefore have children that could continue his name. Like the simple meaning of the pasuk. He seems to understand that the brother who is doing the Yibum is actually almost becoming the brother who died, replacing him. The Malbim, I remember seeing the Malbim once, he saw it in Maseches, it's in Rus, right? He's explaining the story with Rus and Boaz, and he writes over there that the child actually that's born from the Yibum is going to be taking on the neshama of the dead, the one who died. So there's a neshama, someone died, and his neshama, in some level, has not gotten the full tikkun yet. He had no children, he has no one to take over. So when the brother who gets married to his sister-in-law takes in that wife and has a child, that child, he's creating the physical body for the neshama to have a home. That's how he explains it. And he goes so far to say that chalitza, or what is the chalitza? How do we understand taking off the shoe and spitting? So the Chinuch says that the chalitza is that really every wife is in some way meshubit. She is the wife, she has to work for her husband, right? She has many different responsibilities. And chalitza is taking off the shoe. It's an expression of she's doing, there's something that she has to do for her husband. She takes off his shoes. It's one expression of that. And then what does she do? That's really who I am. Really, I am the brother-in-law's almost wife. I'm a shuvit. But as she spits, he doesn't want to do it. I'm spitting as if he's a stranger. I have no responsibility to him anymore. That's how he wants to say it. And the Malbim wants to say, according to his derech, really kshmak, or that he says the shoe expresses a body around the foot. You walk around the street and your foot gets dirty, so you need a shoe to protect it. The neshama gets dirty in this world, in this physical world. It needs a body. So he says that taking off the shoe is an expression of you're not willing to, the man she's talking to, her brother-in-law, you're not willing to create that physical body for the neshama of the... Let's see, so that's how he says. So just a few terminologies we're going to be using in this masechta, just to be aware. Yavam is referring to the brother-in-law, meaning the one who has the potential mitzvah to do Yibum, right? Or Chalitzah. Yevama is the sister-in-law, the widow. The act of Yibum is the marital relation itself, and then what else? Zika. Zika is one of the big words here, which makes Yevamos like one of the most. One of the reasons why Yevamos is so complicated is because of Zika. How do you understand what Zika? Zika means connection. There's clearly a connection between the sister-in-law and the brother who is alive that needs to be taken care of. Either Yibum is going to complete the connection to full marriage. Chalitzah is going to be a way to take the connection, and almost like a full marriage we have a get, could make a divorce. So the Chalitzah is going to be the end of that Zika, the end of that connection. So what exactly Zika is, how it manifests itself is going to be the complicated parts of this masechta. That's one, and the other complicated part is just figuring out the cases, because there's so many different cases there. And the relationships between the different people in the cases. That's what really makes it difficult, but we'll try to simplify it as much as possible. So here we go. Let's begin Yevamos. And Beis Amud Aleph starts the Mishnah. Esrei Noshim. So right away, just, it happens in different masechtas. You would think you start a masechta explaining the psukim we just read. It should explain what Yibum is. You have to wait till the 6th parak to understand what Yibum is. What's Chalitzah? You have to wait till the end of the masechta. I forget. I think it's the 15th, 12th, 15th parak. It's all the way down the masechta. We're not explaining it. This is the way of Gemara's often and Mishnahs. We're going to start with a topic that it's Yibum related. It is Yibum, but it's when do you not have Yibum? There's going to be 15 types of women, meaning in these cases of Yibum, that they become widowed, and they have no mitzvah of Yibum, meaning the brother-in-law is not going to do Yibum to them. There's not going to be Chalitzah. They're just going to be free to go when their husband dies, even though they have no children, which typically requires Yibum or Chalitzah. They're not going to have it. On top of that, the Mishnah is saying, Potros Sarasem. They will exempt their co-wife, the Tzaros or their co-wives, from either Chalitza or Yibum. There's not going to be any Zika, we said, any connection. There's not going to be any relationship to the alive brother. At Sof Olam, and it will be a domino effect forever and ever, from co-wife to co-wife to co-wife to co-wife. There's going to just go on and on and on, and there's never going to be Yibum Chalitza. So the
co-wife is a person that was married to two women.
It's so it's you have the two brothers, like in the regular case of Yibum, and one of the brothers is married to two women. One of these women is not applicable to her to do Yibum or Chalitza, as we'll explain. She is going to be one of the erva, one of the illegal relationships between her and the alive brother. So she's cannot do Yibum Chalitza. The other wife, who has no, technically she has no erva. She's permissible in general to that brother, if not for being a brother-in-law. So she also is going to be not able to do Yibum and Chalitza, and she's going to be potter completely. And then we're saying that co-wife, who is not doing Yibum and Chalitza, if somehow it ends up that she is together with another wife, married to another man in that family, it's also going to become that the other co-wife is going to be exempt. We'll explain. The Mishnah is going to explain all this. That's the role. I'll get into it right now. Here is the examples of the women that they are going to be exempt, and they're going to exempt their co-wives. Bito. So these are going to be cases of where the brother who died, his wife is the daughter of the brother who's alive. We'll call it the Yavam. The brother-in-law who she is falling to, she is his daughter. Meaning you have two brothers, and one of them married his niece. So now you've got, if he married his niece, got it. So he dies. She's not able to do Yibum, have Yibum done to her from her brother, because it's his own daughter, and it's an erva. And we're saying that just like she has no Yibum or Chalitza, also, let's talk of Reuven and Shimon. So Shimon's daughter, Leah, married Reuven. So Reuven's other wife, let's say Zilpah. Zilpah was also married to Reuven. Reuven died. Zilpah is not going to either have Yibum or Chalitza to Shimon. Cool. That's Bito. Bas Beno. All these examples are going to be similar, just more examples of erva, of other illegal relationships.
Which means that these people this is their relationship to the
Yavam, the brother-in-law who's alive.
Right.
The widow is the Bito of the brother-in-law alive, the Bas Bito. A brother married his great niece, or Bas Beno, whether from his nephew or his niece. That creates a problem when he dies without children. Now there's going to be a granddaughter falling to Yibum to the brother-in-law. So there's no Yibum or Chalitza. Likewise, if there's a co-wife, any other wife that deceased man was married to, is not going to fall to Yibum or Chalitza. Bas Ishtoi, Ubas Beno, Bas Bito, more examples. If you have, it's not his own daughter or his own granddaughter that's falling to him in Yibum, but it's his wife's daughter. It's his wife's granddaughter. that was once married to his brother died with no children. Now this girl is falling to her Yavam, her brother-in-law. So the Mishnah says also over there, she's not going to do Yibum because that's an issur in the Torah, that's forbidden. Huadin, likewise, you're not going to have any Yibum or Chalitzah, completely potter, no relationship to any co-wife and co-wife from her. The im chamosu, im chamav, as well as if one's mother-in-law's, I skipped, chamosu, his own mother-in-law, im chamosu, im chamav, or his mother-in-law's mother, or his father-in-law's mother, are fall to him to Yibum as well. Achoso me'imo. Now you have an example of someone's sister from his mother. So you have Reuben and Shimon are brothers. They share the same father, but not the same mother. Okay, good. Now Shimon and Leah share the same mother, but not the same father. Leah gets married to Reuven, because that's okay. That's no problem, because they don't have any relationship, not father or mother. Reuven dies, no children. Leah is now potentially would fall to Yibum in the story of the Torah to Shimon, right? The problem is Shimon is a brother to Leah from the mother, so she's not falling to Yibum. She's potter, and also any co-wife of Reuven is going to be exempt from any Yibum or Chalitzah to be done.
So the first cases was people that were related directly to him, and then the second cases are people that were related to his wife, which means that they're technically his step relation, but not related to his brother, only through his wife. Which means it was his wife's daughter, so she had a daughter before they got married.
Right,
then,
exactly.
Right, and so then it's all of these relationships are now is step relationships.
That's that one, and then the next, and then we just had the list of mother-in-laws.
Right, so and now in-laws, which again it's all relationship through the wife.
That would be through.
So his brother married his mother-in-law.
Right.
And then he died.
Right.
And then the mother-in-law is left. Obviously, you can't marry mother-in-law.
Right.
Right.
Perfect. The achos imo. This would be his brother married his mother's sister. Reuven, or we're in Shimon. Shimon's brother Reuven married Shimon's mother's sister. Also not related to Reuven at all because they share different mothers. Or you have two brothers and they marry sisters. Two brothers marry two sisters. It happens sometimes nowadays, right? Two brothers marry two sisters, and now one of the brothers dies. So you end up having a sister of his wife falling to him. That's also in the Torah. It's forbidden. No Yibum, no Chalitzah, and any co-wife will not be obligated and will be potter from Yibum or Chalitzah. Eisha's achiv me'ima. Now this is the one which is really interesting. Eisha's achiv me'ima. It's his brother's wife, and they share the same mother, not the same father. So, is there a time constraint?
Huh?
No. Fine. Eisha's achiv me'ima, his brother's wife from the mother. Now we know that every Yibum is what set up? It's a brother-in-law. Two brothers, and one of them is married to a woman, and now the one who's married to the woman dies, no children. That woman, the widow, is now going to go to Yibum or Chalitzah to the brother who's alive. Now, if there would have been children, then that's straight out. It's an erva. It's forbidden. Right? Eisha's achiv. One is not allowed to marry his brother's wife, his sister-in-law, even after his brother dies. If there's children. If there's no children, then not only is he allowed to, but that's where you have the mitzvah that he must. Either he must do the Yibum. If he's not willing to do the Yibum, then he does the Chalitzah. Here you have Eisha's achiv also. It's his brother's wife. But the only thing is, it's me'ima. They only share mothers. They don't share a father. They only share a mother. The two brothers share a mother. There's no mitzvah of Yibum there. The mitzvah Yibum, we learn out from a pasuk, is only when they share the same father. Now they share the same mother. So, if you only have the same mother without the father, there's no mitzvah. And now there's no mitzvah, you end up with a sister-in-law who's fallen to him, and there's no Yibum or Chalitzah. Here you have an example where it's an actual brother-in-law, and they share the same father. So usually we say if two brothers share the same father, it's a sister-in-law with the same father, right? Two brothers sharing the same father, that's Yibum, right? One of them had a wife, he died, the widow is now going to get married to her brother-in-law. The difference is shelo haya balamu. The two brothers did not live at the same time. The pasuk says kiyesh v'achim yachtov. When the two brothers are living together, if you only had, here's the case: Ruvain was married to Leah. Ruvain dies, and after Ruvain dies, now Ruvain's mother births another brother, another son. Ruvain's brother Shimon. So Ruvain and Shimon never lived in the world at the same time. That's Eishes Achushel Balamu. Eventually, whenever he becomes of age, still she's not going to go and do Yibum or Chalitzah to him, and also any co-wife. The Kalos, and the last example of this list is a daughter-in-law. So you have somebody marries his brother's daughter-in-law, and then that daughter-in-law's husband dies or divorces her, and now she goes and marries her father-in-law's brother. The father-in-law's brother now goes and he passes away. She's a widow, no children. Typically, you would say Yibum. There's no Yibum because she's Erva. She's a daughter-in-law to the alive brother, and therefore, Hari'ilu Putra Tzarasim and Tzarasim in a Chalitzah mina Yibum Atzoy Olam. The rule is that they're going to exempt their Tzarasim from Chalitzah forever. Yeah.
So Colosso is Erva even after divorce, or
correct. The only one of the Erva says is not is Achos Ishto. Right? Achos Ishto, the pasuk says clearly that a sister-in-law, his wife's sister, if his wife passes away, one may marry his sister-in-law, his wife's sister.
the only example when one of the spouses pass away. But but if a divorce happens, it stays Erva.
If what happens?
If a divorce happens, it stays
Divorce
Erva.
happens by a sister-in-law, then correct. You're right. It has to be that she dies. The pasuk says. Everything else, divorce or death, doesn't help. Once there's a Isser, the Isser remains forever. That's the rule, except for the one example is, okay, let's leave it like that. And we didn't explain, right, we explained co-wives. They're going to be Isser and Potter, so their co-wife, any other woman who technically has no Erva relationship with the brother-in-law who's alive, but still she's Potter. Tzaros is saying there's a co-wife and a co-wife. Now, how do you have a co-wife and a co-wife? How does that happen? So the answer is, let's just give the case. You have three brothers. And one of the brothers is Erva to the second brother's wife, but the third brother is not Erva to that second brother's wife. So, Reuven, Shimon, Levi. Reuven is married to Leah, as well as to any other woman, Zilpah. Reuven passes away with no children. Leah happens to be also as an Erva to Shimon. Good. So there's no Yibum or Chalitzah to Shimon. Shimon cannot do Yibum or Chalitzah to Leah and not to Zilpah. Zilpah is a Tzara. She is a co-wife of Leah. However, if Levi has no relationship to any of those women, including Leah or Zilpah, so there's Yibum, there's a mitzvah Yibum or Chalitzah. So because of mitzvah Yibum or Chalitzah, he's going to, let's say, get married to Zilpah. He decides he wants to take Zilpah as his wife to do the Yibum Chalitzah. He happens to have another wife, Bilhah. He passes away, no children. Usually there would be a subsequent Yibum or Chalitzah there. But once again, that middle brother, Shimon, cannot get married, even to Bilhah, who's only a co-wife of the Zilpah, who Zilpah herself was not really an Erva. But she began from the first falling of Yibum as a co-wife of an Erva to him. That's
Tzaros saying is not, you're dealing with, it has to be a case of two deaths.
Right. Yeah, it's impossible to have, I believe so. Is there any other way to have?
You're saying that once one of the Tzaros becomes Aser, then that co-wife is Aser L'Olam, can't never do Yibum. Zilpah, in your case, can't do Yibum with Shimon.
Right.
And then Zilpah now marries third boy Levi. That means that now Bilhah, that Tzara makes the next, his Tzara, or her Tzara, also Aser as well.
Right.
For Yibum.
And it could be a fourth brother and a fifth
Even
brother.
though neither,
Tzara.
Zilpah, Bilhah had no relationship with Shimon theoretically.
Right.
But because Zilpah was also by a Tzara, since she was Tzara to Erva, so then that also creates, once the marriage happens, that creates Isser of any other co-wife as well.
Right.
Yeah? Okay.
Okay, so that's good. Yeah, for sure. Happy everyone was able to make it. And just because, I'll just take a minute, just because it's a long masechta, if we're able to break up each few blot, in a bookmark, this is the sugya for the next few days, I would like to do that in order to make it a little less overwhelming. So if we could just stay together at least for the next 2 blot, it'll be 4 nights, so tonight and 3 more. That brings us to the bottom of Gimel and Beis, and then it starts a really, really exciting sugya. It's Aseda Cholosa. That's going to go on for, I don't know, about a week and a half. So let's just, at least for the next 4 nights, Okay. Little by little.